A notice of federal tax lien is a filing by the IRS in state and or county records that puts the world on notice, the whole world, that you owe the IRS back taxes and that the United States has a claim on your assets. Here's what a notice of federal tax lien looks like. This one was filed by the IRS against actor Nicolas Cage. You can see that here, name of taxpayer, Nicholas Coppola, aka Cage. The notice of federal tax lien shows the year or years for which the taxpayer owes tax debt. The assessment that the IRS made for the 2008 year against Nick Cage was over $6.7 million, and they filed this notice of federal tax lien against him. Now you can imagine that this can create some trouble for you if you're trying to get a loan, especially a loan secured by some asset, right? Because what this notice of federal tax lien has done is it has put the whole world on notice that the IRS has a claim on your assets. So a lender might be pretty spooked by being in competition with the United States government as a superior creditor on your assets and may not be willing to lend you money, at least secured money, in such a context. Okay, I'm not a mortgage professional. I'm not a lender. I am aware that some lenders will entertain the notion of lending money to people who have an active notice of federal tax lien, but my understanding is you got to pay for it, right? Because you are inherently now a riskier borrower. There's a lien on the asset securing the loan, generally something you don't want. Okay. Also, if you're selling your home or something like this, right, the IRS is going to get theirs before you get yours, up to the amount of this lien. Okay, unless you successfully get it withdrawn or something like that. So it's public record. There's no question that the notice of federal tax lien is public record. But do they go on your credit report? Okay, that's different than being a public record. Yes, they're a public record, no question about that. Anybody could go down to your county, pull the lien, see the lien filed against you, no question about that. Okay, but do they? But that's a process, right? In most counties, you have to go down physically. Some of them are available online, electronically, but many counties you have to go physically. That's a process there. However, if you're looking to rent a house, rent an apartment, buy a home, get some kind of financing, whatever, it's much easier to pull a credit report. So one question that I often get from folks is, well, okay, notice of federal tax lien, will that appear on my credit report? And the answer, believe it or not, is no. IRS tax liens used to go on your credit report, okay, before April 2018. And in fact, many articles online still reflect that reality from many years ago, okay? And in fact, I had to reach out to the editor for a publication I used to write for called The Balance, because in this article, this is the Wayback Machine. It shows you what web pages looked like at a certain date in the past. It said, tax liens are public record because they're on file with your local government. They'll appear in the public record section of your credit report. They're considered to be one of the most negative credit report entries, and they can damage your credit score as much as a bankruptcy or foreclosure. I actually reached out to the editor here because I used to write for this publication, and I basically said, no, this is incorrect. IRS notices of federal tax liens no longer appear on credit reports, and the reason I felt compelled to do this is because some prospects, right, that we were talking to. And, we were straight out with them. Sometimes we can get the IRS to agree to not file notice of federal tax lien against folks. Sometimes they just owe too much, right? And the IRS is going to file notice of federal tax lien against them, even if they get into a payment plan. That's just the reality. And we were telling them, well, no, the notice of federal tax lien will not appear in your credit report. Yes, someone could go down to the county and pull the lien, whatever. But we were telling them that the reality that it would not appear on their credit report. But then some of these prospects would Google that, and the Balance website, because it has very strong SEO, or at least it used to, it would appear on top, right? And it would tell them something contrary to what we told them. It would say, the article would say, that the notice of federal tax lien would, in fact, appear on their credit report, right? And would be one of the most negative credit report entries, right? So that's why I felt compelled to correct this. I sent this email to the editor on November 7th, 2022. And lo and behold, you can see the article now, was updated 2 days after I sent that email on November 9th, 2022. You see, I sent it November 7th. They updated on November 9th. And you can see now it says they changed it. For a long time, they appeared in your credit report. They were considered to be one of the most negative credit report entries and they could damage your credit score. However, tax liens were removed from all credit reports by 2018 and generally speaking should no longer appear on your credit report. So that's my most recent contribution to the collective knowledge on the internet about notice of federal tax liens and credit reports, right? And the article that I showed the editor was, I gave him several, right? But one right here was from the Experian blog. Tax liens are no longer a part of credit reports, right? And this is, it's pretty straight and dry. But basically, the gist of it is that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, they did a study that found lien information was being reported incorrectly on credit reports. Okay, like linked to the wrong people. Okay, people who have the same first and last name, right? They would get, let's say your name's John Smith, and there's notice of federal tax lien filed against a John Smith in, California, but you live in Alabama. Somehow, that guy, who's not you, his notice of federal tax lien would appear on your credit report, right? So there were just issues with how they were being reported on credit reports. So as a result, the three credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, voluntarily agreed to no longer report notices or tax liens on credit reports. Okay, keyword there is voluntarily. This was not a law that Congress passed and was signed by the president that said that, you can't report tax liens on credit reports anymore. No, this was a voluntary decision made by the three credit bureaus due to errors in how tax liens were sometimes being reported on credit reports. This was a voluntary decision by the credit bureaus to no longer report tax liens on credit reports. Could they go back on that? Right? Could they go back on this at some point in the future? Yes, they theoretically could. It'd probably be very much frowned upon by any consumer groups to kind of backpedal on that. But this was a voluntary move, right? And they could just as well go back on it as well. And of course, a lender could, even if it's on the credit report, a lender or any other interested party could always just go down to the county and pull the lien record themselves because it is, in fact, public record. But as a matter of course, the credit reporting bureaus are not reporting tax liens on credit reports. Okay. Interesting, though, that the IRS, on its page about levies versus liens, a levy is an actual seizure of your assets, like a wage garnishment or taking money out of your bank account. The lien is just the filing I've described previously. It's interesting on this page. Right, here it is. Credit reporting agencies may find the notice of federal tax lien and include it in your credit report. Okay. And this was, where's the last updated date? Last updated, April 2023, right? So the IRS still says this. And I think that the why this is still, I guess, technically accurate because it says may, because they could voluntarily go back on that. So yeah, they may do that. It's just they have committed not to as of April 2018. But I think the IRS on this webpage, they want to make the lien sound as scary as possible, so they've left that sentence in there. But credit reporting agencies are not reporting notices of federal tax lien and credit reports as a matter of course anymore. So. All right, folks. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Logan Alec. I own Choice Tax Relief. I have some other tax relief videos here on the left side of the screen. If you'd like to talk to a professional about your back tax situation, maybe you owe the IRS a lot of money, maybe you have several years of unfiled tax returns, give us a call, 866-8000-TAX. That's 866-8000-829. Or, of course, you could visit us at choicetaxrelief.com, fill out the form here, or book a free consultation right here. And it shows up a little calendar here that you can book yourself on. So, anyway, folks, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.